So I'm going to wait for it to hit the 30-second mark. And then you know what happens from there.
Welcome, everybody, back to Grand Slam here on the MVG Networks. Glad you could join us here for the quarterfinals of our tournament here. I'm Jason Myers, and joining me in the booth this time, we have Kyle Hirschon. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jason. How about you? We got an exciting match tonight.
I'm doing great so far. You're right, it is an exciting matchup. It's two of the top 8 seeds battling head-to-head right now to see who's going to go on to the semifinals. It's our number 2 seed, Elliott Schiff, versus Scott Michels. Let's take a look at the bracket as we hear the tale of the tape from you, Kyle. What's your take on this?
Well, from what I'm seeing, we've got 2 masters of the clock. We've got Scott, who's been able to use the switch back and forth like no problem at all, and Elliott has just been an absolute master at answering the questions, getting as many right as possible. I'm thinking we're going to have a pretty bloody battle tonight.
Oh, yeah. Elliott is no slouch to the world of trivia. He's rapid fire on the answers. So Scott's going to have his work cut out for him. But then again, Scott has been a giant killer in his own right. We've seen him compete in several games all throughout his tenure here in MVG. So it's going to be a real interesting battle between the two of them.
Absolutely. And, of course, whoever wins will either play Kevin Henry or Brandon Scruggs, and that will be a bloody battle.
Oh, yeah. To the both of them, I say the best of luck, whoever ends up advancing. But in the meantime, let's get this shindig started. It's the first round. It's the teaser round. Elliott and Scott are about to duke it out in the battle of the teasers. The only one that's got all the right answers to those teasers is our question man. Take it away.
Players, take your positions. All right, players, congratulations on making it here to the quarterfinals. I wish both of you the best of luck. So, of course, I will remind you here, this is the teaser round. In this round, you will be getting a jackpot-style riddle. Most of these at this point in our tournament are no longer written in joke format. The format you can expect, you are actually getting 2 different types of clues within the riddle that both then form the answer. So do pay close attention to that. I will remind you that you do have 3 switches to help you along the way here in this round. And that is 3 switches total for the first 3 rounds. It's not for each individual round. Elliott, as our higher overall seed, has decided to go first in rounds 2 and 4. So, Scott, that means we're going to start with you. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, then, Scott, your time begins now. To guess this state with 7 letters, consider this clue. You get an Asian country if you drop the last 2.
Pass.
To reserve, perhaps a space. Add to mark to keep your place.
Jack?
No. A type of
Switch.
accident. Elliott, a type of accident, but don't think of a car, a show that parades the truly bizarre.
Freak.
Correct, Scott. A type of dressing, but not the French kind. A phrase with opportunity with a time frame in mind.
Pass.
A condition that's immaculate and often new. A popular flavor or something to chew.
Pass.
A doctor without a medical degree, yet well paid for consultation, often a figure of derision, a master of manipulation.
Joker.
No. Around this, much scientific progress has revolved. What you're put under if scrutiny's involved.
Pain. No.
Don't know what that was.
Pass
No.
it.
A sheet that causes many accountants to whine, or on a blank statement, essentially the bottom line.
Dotted.
No. A shot attempted. Time is up. Very tough round there for you, Scott. But, so Elliott, you have won the first round here. You will be taking 1 minute, 21.5159, seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to the booth.
Wow, that was absolutely insane. Scott just did not have it in him tonight. Those teasers were very tough on him, weren't they, Jason?
Yeah, I think I seen Scott's brain fly out of his head and go in a fart circle all around the stadium there.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll do better the next round. I don't think the teasers are for him. And yeah, Turd did say that these are harder questions. So I do not blame Scott for not knowing as many as he should. But man, I did not expect him to get nothing.
Yeah, well, we know some of the stuff that happened out on the floor. Let's go down to the guy that knows the rest of what happened down there on the floor, Stanikowski. What you got?
Stanikowski. Oh, you are starting off well, sir. All right, but very different sides of the scale here. Elliott only managed to get one question out of all of them that were asked, and he got one correct. So he nailed his only question that he got. Whereas Scott, on the other hand, had 7 questions total, missed all of them.
He did.
And in terms of switches, Scott did use 1 in that round, so he has 2 remaining, whereas Elliott does have all 3 remaining.
Oh, we've seen the brutality of the teaser round. Let's see how much more brutal it gets in the odd man out.
And of course, it only gets harder from here. So let's see if Scott can try at least make up for what the mistakes he made in round 1 and maybe not use as much time on the clock. I think it's time we send it down to the question man.
Right.
Players, take your positions. All right, players, in this round, this is the odd one out round. In this round, you'll be given a question with 4 possible answers. You're going to tell me which one of them does or does not belong with the question that is asked to you. Again, just as a reminder, Elliott, you have all 3 of your switches remaining right now. Scott, you have 2. Elliott, you will be going first in this round. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Then, Elliott, your time begins now. Which one of these is not a region in Italy? Piedmont, Calabria, Lazio, Udine?
Piedmont.
No. Which one of these countries is not among the top 5 destinations for Americans traveling abroad? The Bahamas, Mexico, Canada, Great Britain?
Great Britain.
No. Which one of the following was not a major scientist? Johannes Kepler, Michael Faraday, Charles Babbage, William Bonney?
Babbage.
No. Which one of these is not... Scott, which one of these is not the name of a major painter? Karen Elaine Johnson, Frida Kahlo, Georgia O'Keeffe, Mary Cassatt?
Johnson.
Correct. Elliott. Which one of these is not the name of a villain from a popular Disney film? Jafar, Calcott, Ursula, Scar?
Ursula.
No. Which one of these is not among the top 10 most walkable U.S. cities? Portland, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Washington, D.C.?
San Francisco.
No. Which one of these names is not Greek in origin? Patricia, Dorothy, Barbara, Irene?
Dorothy.
No. Which one of these is not the name of a god in ancient Egyptian mythology? Horus, Anubis? Scott, which one of these is not the name of a god in ancient Egyptian mythology? Horus, Anubis, Osiris, Quercus?
Quercus.
Correct. Elliott, Which one of these is not represented by one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse? Conquest, famine, death, damnation.
Conquest.
No. Which one of these health medical firsts did not occur before 1975? The first test tube baby, first use of insulin. And that came at the same time as the buzzer was going off. I could not have stopped it fast enough. So the round is over. Scott, you have won the second round here, and you will be taking 1 minute 7.819 seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to the booth.
Now, I know we call Scott the flat broke kid, but I think after that round we could call him the comeback kid. Because, Jesus!
Elliott was just unlucky the entire round, getting all of his questions wrong. And, of course, using the switch, which didn't really help him out in this case. Scott was just very, very lucky to get not only all of his questions right, but to be spared from any sort of conflict in this situation.
Yeah, really. Statsky and Hooch, you got anything to add to this?
Dear Lord. God, they get better every time. Well, completely opposite round from the last one for sure, because now Elliott copied Scott's performance in the last round, because if we're not counting that answer that he didn't get at the end of his time, he got 7 wrong and none right out of 7 that he was asked. And whereas Scott got asked 2 questions, he got both of them correct. And in terms of switches, Elliott used 2 in that second round, so he has 1 remaining, whereas Scott didn't use any, so he has 2 remaining. Going into round 3.
Just when we thought things were looking to fall into Elliott's favor, the tides have turned and the scales are just about even. Elliott still has that slight edge. We'll see if that edge gets any greater, if it goes in the opposite direction in Scott's favor. It's the third round. Anything, and we've seen anything happen. Anything is possible. Let's take it back down to the floor. Question me. Give him hell.
I plan on it. Well, I might want to fix that first. Somebody's going to give me hell first, so hold on. I was doing a lot of stuff over
You
here.
had one job!
I know, right? Well, I think I will officially be eliminated after this round.
Nah. Just for the record, folks that are watching, we're live.
Yeah, and hey, those of you out there watching, make sure that you watch Sorry. Check the playlist. It'll be up there somewhere. Okay.
Sorry.
He's not sorry.
Yeah. So with that, players take your positions. I told you guys it's been a day. All right, so here in round 3, this is the sequencing round. In this round here, players, you will be taking multiple options, and you will be putting them in some type of order. Pay very close attention to the order that is asking for. Do remember, you will need to at least give me the essence of the answer. You cannot tell me 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, the first, the second, the third. You at least need to give me the essence of the answer. It does not have to be the whole phrase, but the essence I will accept. So with that being said here, Scott, you will be going first in this round. As a reminder, Scott, you have 2 switches to use here. Anything you don't use does go forward to the final round. Elliott, you have 1 switch to use. So with that being said, Scott, are you ready?
Ready.
Then, Scott, your time begins now. Arrange these by weight, heaviest to lightest. An NFL helmet, an adult human brain, a trumpet.
Trumpet.
No.
Oh.
Arrange these iconic ad campaigns by their launch date, earliest to most recent. I'm loving it from McDonald's. Just do it from Nike. It's the real thing from Coke.
It's the real thing. Nike, McDonald's.
Correct, Elliott. List these historical events in chronological order. Marco Polo returns from China. Joan of Arc is burned at the stake. Henry VIII executes Anne Boleyn.
Joan of Arc, Marco Polo, Henry VIII.
No. Arrange these top 3 wine-producing countries first to third. Italy, France, Spain.
France, Italy, Spain.
No. Arrange these Academy Award-winning films by release date, earliest to most recent. American Beauty, Forrest Gump, Dances with Wolves.
Forrest Gump, Dances with Wolves, American
No.
Beauty.
List these by height, tallest to shortest. A pickup truck, an ostrich, giraffe's legs.
Giraffe's legs, ostrich, pickup
No.
truck.
Arrange these cities according to how close they are to Chicago, closest to furthest. Honolulu, Rio de Janeiro, London.
London, Rio, Honolulu.
No. Arrange these in order, highest to lowest. Number of years since the Big Bang, number of cells in the human body, the world's population.
Cells, Big Bang, population.
Correct, Scott. Arrange these ancient monuments by when they were built, earliest to most recent. The Great Wall of China, Stonehenge, the Parthenon.
Stonehenge, Parthenon, Great Wall.
Correct. Elliott, arrange these numbers in order, highest to lowest. The number of keys on a clarinet, the number of NATO member states, the number of Billboard Top 10 albums by the Rolling Stones.
NATO, Billboard, clarinet.
No. Arrange these figures in order. Time is up. And with that, Scott, you have won round number 3. You will be taking 48.469 seconds along with you into the final round. Back up to the booth.
Jeez, another lame showing by Elliott, and Scott once again saving the day. And remember, no switch was used in this round, but listen to this. Now Scott's got the big edge now. Scott's got almost 2
I think
minutes
Jason's
saved.
speechless.
Yeah. So
First off, I don't know what the hell just happened out there, but I think I'm in an alternate universe, because in what universe is Elliott falling behind? I've seen him dominate throughout this whole tournament. What the hell is going on out there?
maybe his time has come, but I'd rather see what Statfield and McCoy has to say.
Right.
Wow. Kyle getting a little creative here. I gotta give him that. Okay. But thank you, Kyle. I commend you for that. All right, so Elliott got a total of 7 questions in that third round. He only got 1 correct, and the other 6 were incorrect. For Scott, he only got 3 questions total. He got 2 right and 1 wrong. And like you said, Kyle, no switches were used. So when we add the switch that the players have provided for the 4th and final round, Elliott is going to carry 2 switches with him, and Scott will have 3. And with the time advantage, I won't pick sides here, but you never know. This is going to be quite the battle here going into the 4th and final round.
I'm not picking sides. I'm not about to say who's going to win. The only prediction I'm going to make is that my chair will be broken by the end of this round.
Probably mine as well.
So let's take it back down to the floor and conclude all of this mess and see what kind of blood gets shed as the question man watches the battle unfold.
Question man!
Question man!
For the final time tonight, players, take your positions. All right, players, as we come into the 4th round here, this is our wild card round. There are lots of different types of categories the cards will give you here. One in particular I want to point out to you is what we call 2 out of 3. On the 2 out of 3 round, I have 3 total questions that are fill in the blank. You will need to answer 2 out of the 3 of them correctly. So I will read one. You can give me the answer or say next one. I will then read the next one to you, but you will need to give me 2 out of the 3 correct on one of those cards. So please know that. So as we go into this, as you heard with the switches, Scott, you will have 3 switches to use. Elliott, you have 2. As far as the time goes, both of you start with 1 minute and 30 seconds as your base. Elliott, you were able to bank 1 minute, 21.159 seconds, which rounds down to 1 minute and 21 seconds. We add that on, which gives you 2 minutes and 51 seconds to use. Scott, you were able to bank a total of 1 minute, 56.288 seconds, which rounds down to 1 minute and 56 seconds, giving you a total time to use here of 3 minutes and 26 seconds. I will remind you, players, whoever has time remaining on the clock at the end of this round will be the first person to advance on to our semifinals. So, with that being said, Elliott, you will be going first in this round. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Best of luck, players. Elliott, your time begins now. Elliott, give me 3 countries that begin with the letter B as in Bob.
Bolivia, Brazil, Bosnia.
Correct. Scott, give me 5 words that contain 2 letter C's side by side.
Pass it.
All right, this is a 2 out of 3. Your first one, House Speaker from 2011 to 2015, John Blank.
Pass it.
Author of Black Beauty, Anna Blank.
Pass.
All right.
Switch.
Elliott, flying at nearly twice the speed of sound, only 14 Concords were built for commercial use. Passenger service, which lasted from 1976 to 2003, was available on only which 2 airlines?
Pass.
All right, by adding Susan to the surnames below, how many famous people do you get? 1, 2, or 3? The names are Sontag, Fagan, Portman.
1.
Correct. Scott. In 1903, Orville and Wilbur Wright made the first engine-powered flight near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. How long did the first flight last? 12 seconds, 34 seconds, 1 minute, and 14 seconds.
34 seconds.
No. Name the world's 2 dominant auction houses for fine art, luxury, and related items. True or false? Must answer both correctly. Astronauts grow taller in space.
True.
Dinosaurs become extinct during the Jurassic period.
False.
Correct. Elliott. 2 out of 3 here. Co-founded Apple with Steve Jobs. Steve Blank.
Wozniak.
Correct. St. Augustine text. The blank of God.
Halo.
No. Last one. Oscar-nominated movie from 2016. Blank Ridge.
Pass.
All right. Select the names of the 2 crude oil price benchmarks. Brent, Light Composite, West Texas Intermediate, Pimlico.
Brent, West Texas.
Correct. Scott. 2 out of 3. Thomas Hardy novel, Return of the Blank.
Pass.
Michael Jackson album, Off the Blank.
Wall.
Correct. And Oscar-nominated movie from 2013, Blank Phillips.
Philip.
No. The word torpedo is derived from what? The Latin name for a family of fish, the German for to strike, or the Greek for moving ahead?
German.
No. Where will you find the geographic
Switch.
center? Elliott, where will you find the geographic center of the United States, taking into account all 50 states? South Dakota, Kansas, Missouri, Colorado.
South Dakota.
Correct. Scott. The International Space Station orbits around the Earth's surface at about the same average distance as Los Angeles is to Las Vegas, San Francisco, Seattle, or Orlando.
Seattle.
No. An old humorous saying, the law of heredity is that all undesirable traits come from the other blank.
Pass.
Lincoln's momentous Gettysburg Address begins with the word fourscore. What is the very last word?
Nation.
No. Confucius once said, Elliott, Confucius once said, everything has blank, but not everyone sees it. Is it price, beauty, or limit?
Beauty.
Correct. Scott. 2 out of 3. Babe Ruth, the Sultan of blank.
Swing.
No. Joan of Arc, the maid of blank.
Honor.
No. All right. It has 9 letters and ends in comb, but don't run it through your hair.
Pass.
By adding Andrew to the surnames below, how many famous people do you get? 1, 2, or 3? The names are Proust, Carnegie, Chaucer.
2.
No. All right. Give me 4 words that contain 2 letters Z's.
Buzz, fuzz, buzzer, buzzers.
Correct. Elliott.
Switch.
Scott. The number of planets in our solar system without any moons, plus the number of rings in the Audi logo. Is it 5, 6, 7, or 8?
7.
No. Give me 2 words that begin and end with the letter K. Time is up, and that is it.
Oh my.
So, coming back here, Elliott, congratulations. You have
Good game,
won
Scott.
this
Good
matchup
game.
of Grand Slam. You will be going on to our semifinals. Back
Thank
up
you.
to the booth.
Oh,
Who needs that time deficit anyway?
right.
That's just that's just numbers on the screen.
The numbers don't mean a damn thing around here, apparently. That was the absolute comeback of the century.
Right.
An absolute dominant round by Elliott. Scott just faltered. And of course, having to use all of his 3 switches early meant that Elliott could strike at any time, and Elliott did strike at the best moment possible.
Right.
Oh.
Anybody out there in Vegas that said that Elliott was about to lose? Yeah, y'all owe Vegas. Just saying. never count Elliott out. Just because he may be down by 30 or 40 seconds, he's going to rebound. We just seen him rebound. Anyways, I can't even think of a name to call you now, so I'm just going to refer you by your real name. Jose, what was the tail of the tape on that fiasco? Jeez.
Wow. Yeah. Let me tell you that. In terms of Elliott, he had a total of 7 questions. He got 5 correct and only ended up missing 2. Whereas with Scott, 14 questions total. Only got 2 correct and missed 12 of them. Passed on a good majority of them, but and like you said, Kala, Scott had to use all 3 of them early, and that triggered the trap card for Elliott to use one of his, and he still had 1 to spare. Even if Scott had switches remaining at the end of that, Elliott could have easily stricken it back.
Yeah, speaking of Scott, he's up here right now. Scott. Bruh.
Yeah.
Bro, you for a while you had Elliott on the ropes, which is nobody in this tournament has been able to say that. You had him on the ropes. He ended up pushing off the ropes. He drop kicked you into oblivion in the final round. What the hell happened?
You know, first round jumbled me. Those new teasers are they are hard. I will say that. I passed on the one that I shouldn't have. And I mean, 2 and 3 were good. Round 4, I mean, I just got so many of those 2 out of 3s and other questions. Like, I know one was comb, a 9-letter word. I'm pretty sure that was like honeycomb. Now that I think about it,
I was trying to yell from up here, honeycomb, but I don't think my microphone transferred off to the stage.
Yeah, it's just one of those to where I wasn't. It was the clock. This is the one time the clock got ahead of me, and it costed me. But you know what? I made it to the quarterfinals here. I'm happy about that.
Hey, and it's a hell of a try for your first year here. You made it to the quarterfinals. You've pretty much cemented your legacy here by this point, not just in this tournament, but through all the games that you've played here in MVG.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no doubting your intellect.
Hey, and yeah, like I said, it was just the wrong questions at the wrong time, and at the end of the day, just kind of shot me down.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is where you bow out, but I know we're going to see you next year, right?
Well, you're gonna see me next year, and hey, this gives me more time for the booth with you.
Hey! It's always a win.
Yeah, I get my chair back.
I might have to get a new chair myself because this one is kind of on its last legs. So, Scott, I'll see you up here for the next match. Anyways,
We'll be here.
hell of a try, bro. As we now bring up Elliott, the man of the hour. Elliott, you got to admit, you were scared for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I thought he had me for a while there. But and the last round came, and I dominated there.
Right. Because, like I said, all throughout this tournament, you have been just blistering through the competition.
Oh.
I don't think you've ever dropped a round to anybody. Maybe to Braden, but that was only a
Braden
few
was a tough
seconds
one.
that you dropped to him. But
Yeah.
I've never seen you drop 2 in a row. That's when I started getting scared for you. Like, oh, this could be upset in the making, but you rebounded, you persevered, you hung on, you struck Scott when he least expected it, and here you are moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, those middle 2 rounds are the tougher ones. The word games, I'm really good at word games, but then the middle 2 rounds, there's more trivia involved in there. Sometimes you can get something I don't know, and I just have to roll with it.
Indeed. Kyle, you got anything to add to this?
Yeah, Elliott, I gotta ask, when you saw Scott use his final switch, did you have any plans on using that last switch when he had as little time as possible?
I was trying to switch it back. I could have switched it back again. It really depended on what question came up. But the last round's all about clock management and switch management, and I came ahead in that round.
That you did.
And what will be your strategy for this next match? When you're in the semifinals, you're either facing either Kevin Henry or Brandon Scruggs, and they are 2 elite trivia competitors. What's your strategy going to be like?
Get the answers right.
Best strategy ever.
Oh, here we go. It begins now.
Well, Elliott, good luck to you in the semifinals.
Thank you.
I know you're going to have your work cut out for you, and then so.
Oh yeah.
As Turd comes on up here, Turd, did you manage to clean up the blood off the floor before you got up here?
Well, it was between that and trying to pick up all the cards, because I tell you, in that last round, we went through quite a stack of cards, that's for sure. So yeah, that was definitely a fight fest there. And I tell you, at the end of the day, Scott was riding a high. I thought Elliott had him shell shocked at the beginning, but Scott fought back, and I thought, oh, Elliott's in trouble. And then round 4 got a hold of Scott. I think Scott got a little cocky with his switches, did not use them maybe per se properly. Some players may say, and he allowed Elliott to sit there and hold 2 switches while he used all of his. And at that point, as soon as I saw that happen, I said, Elliott now has the upper hand, and Scott's going to be in real trouble unless he can just answer everything correctly.
Indeed. Well, he'll learn that lesson and take it into next year's tournament. In the meantime, Elliott's going to have his work cut out for him. He's got the first entry into our semifinal brackets here, but waiting for him is either Kevin Henry or Brandon Scruggs. Who do you think he's going to be facing if you were a betting man?
If I was a betting man, I definitely wouldn't be betting on this out of pure, unadulterated fear. Yeah, no, but I tell you, that right there is going to be another heavyweight fight right there. Kevin knows his stuff. But every once in a while, I've seen with Kevin, there will be a category you won't see coming that'll kind of get him stuck. So I think Brandon's going to have to hold on to that hope and hope there's just something out there. And I think if he can use his switches effectively, that could definitely help him. But man, this is one of those. It's what they say is 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Right.
Who knows? But I tell you what I do know, and that is this tournament is far from over. We still have 3 more matchups to be done here in our quarterfinals. Of course, we got John Bergman against Travis Coulter. We've got yourself, Jason Myers, against Ryan Wessling. And then that matchup we just spoke of Kevin Henry and Brandon Scruggs. Those matchups could be coming up any day now. So definitely all of our viewing audience, you're going to want to keep an eye on the channel. Make sure if you have subscribed and you have rung the bell for those notifications, you will find out whenever we are going live with another one of these matchups here. And I'll also, just to toot the horn a little bit, last night we had an amazing premiere of our new show, Sorry, the Game Show. It seems to be on fire so far on the channel. Definitely get out there and watch that, ladies and gentlemen, to see what myself and Jason have in store for you there. It's great. But for now, it's time to wrap things up, of course. I would like to thank our contestants, Elliott Schiff and Scott Michels. Of course, would like to thank Stadolotopus over there, Jose Cazares for his statistics tonight. And, of course, in the booth, as always, Jason Myers, and coming in to help us out tonight, our good old pal Hirsch here once again to give us some commentary. But I was your questioner, Herb Ferguson, and you sure as hell aren't. We'll see you here again next time for another matchup in the 2023 MVG Grand Slam tournament.
This was an MVG production.